What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened, and the next episode in my full progression playthrough in the early access. Now, next up in the campaign, we do have the Royal Gardens. But before we hop into it, let's take a look at the loot and get our points put in from last map. Now, taking a look at our levels, we are level 40 or 23, pardon me, so we don't have enough levels to equip our next tier of gear, which is level 27. Gonna have to tough it out, I think, really probably for 2 more maps, and we'll see how it goes. However, we do have points to apply, and we've got 4 points here on the Squire. The Squire is our Waller, so straight into Fortify. We've got 4 points on our Huntress, which we actually got a little bit of a mix of stats on the Huntress, as she is our trapping builder. Let's see, fort, power, range, defense rate. Let's go just right into power there. Taking a look at the Apprentice, our rate is really hurting. I'm going to throw some points into rate. And then the same thing on the Monk for our Auras. So we're ready to go here into the Royal Gardens. Let's give it a whirl. Of course, we're doing this one on hard mode. Oops, not insane. There we go. And I'm going to leave that hardcore toggle off until I get through the campaign. I'll start worrying about hardcore and loot here later on. But let's go ahead and hop on in and take on the Royal Gardens. Here we go. And here we go into the Royal Gardens. Put your sunglasses on, y'all, because it is going to be bright outside here. This is our first real trip into the bright, sunny outdoors. Now let's take a look and see what we've got. We've got 130 DU. We're going to start off with 500 mana. Basically, I'm going to go to each of the lanes that are present, and I'm going to throw down a wall and an explosive trap. This is kind of a standard that I kind of start just about every map with, even really on my main account now. It's a good, powerful defense that doesn't have to worry about any immunities, as it is physical damage, and allows you to get through that first wave. You know, of course, you have to have the juice to be able to build the map, and we just aren't going to have any until we get through wave 1. So that's just how it goes. Do this all the way around. I got mixed emotions on what I want to do on these far lanes. I mean, we'll check it out as we get to it. We're going to have flyers out the what. So we'll definitely have to prepare for those flyers. However, besides the flyer prep, let's see, we've got 220 left, which is perfect because we've got a very wide gap down here. Now you can really wall this one off 2 ways. You got some natural choke points here that does split the lane, where you could get away with using just one wall on each side. However, one of the things I like to do is kind of block it right through the middle, and it gives you 100% complete coverage. Absolutely nothing is going to get through, but it costs you an additional 3 DU. Now, for traps, what do we want to do here? This is an important thing to learn about trap chaining. Now, what trap chaining is 2 traps that have the effective range in the same area as we have now are going to ignite each other. So they're both going to go off at the same time. Now, what this means is we're going to burn charges a little bit quicker than we normally would, but it also means if an enemy is, say, right here, where it would be in range of both of those traps, only one of these explosive traps is going to do any damage. So we're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for that, and we're going to want to keep an eye on our charges here, as they are going to burn super, super quick. But let's see if we can't get through wave 1 here, get this bad boy knocked out, and get the map built out into a little bit more completed state. All good so far. The explosive trap is pretty much going to one-shot everything that makes it up to the wall, but ranged mobs are going to be back far enough where you know, they're just going to take pot shots. So I'll have to keep an eye out for any archers that come out here. And it looks like we've got a few coming now. So we'll just burn them down the good old-fashioned way. And it is a good game for wave number 1. Now, what did we come up with? We got 600 more mana. I'm not sure. How did these traps hold up down here? They actually looked pretty darn good. Looks like we didn't lose too many charges. I will want to keep an eye on those since they are chaining together throughout the course of the map. Alright, now let's see. We've got flyers that are going to end up coming from over there. So I want to start thinking about some flyer control. Now, normally, on my main account, I would just build right here. And you know what? I think I'm going to. Let's go with a Flame Burst Tower. And we'll go with a Magic Missile as well. Now, what this is going to do, the Magic Missile, when you upgrade it, gets a massive, massive range bonus. So it's really going to help us out with getting over to those flyers and hitting them very quickly with a few upgrades here. Let's do the exact same thing here, as we do have a flyer lane that's going to come this way as well. And then we've got 2 more flyer lanes, believe it or not. We've got one right here. We're going to hit it with the flame and the magic missile. Now, the reason I'm mixing it up with 1 flame and 1 magic missile is not just because of the magic missile's incredible range, but the magic missile is physical damage, so any of the mobs that come in that are immune to fire damage are still going to take shots from that magic missile. And then down here is going to end up being our ogre lane. So what I'm going to do here is just I'll put several flame bursts through the course of it. But for right now, let's just start things off with 2. And a lot of these shots will hit the bushes and some random things, but that should get us going through the rest of, well, the next wave anyway. Now, I could plan ahead a little bit. We're going to have flyers coming in from up there as well, and they're going to be a little bit of a clip away. So what I'm going to do there is throw a Deadly Strike Tower, as it does have just that absolutely incredible range. And I think we are good to go. Let's go ahead and start it up and get this next wave knocked out. I do want to go ahead and throw down some repairs and get all of my traps back up to full charges, just to be safe. Now, I'm going to be really concerned about that middle lane down there and whether or not the trap chaining is going to affect how quickly my traps are burning down there. Let's see. They're actually not too bad. They've only burned up a couple of charges, so not that big of a deal. Actually, you know what? It looks like the range is far enough apart where they're not actually chaining together. So that is a huge benefit. Our lack of any real stats at this point in the game is making it so I can have those traps that close. And it really looks like they're not chaining. Alright, now we've got a bunch of DU left to spend. We got 49 more left, and we're going to want to get these lanes squared away a little bit better. So what do we want to do? I mean, one of the most obvious choices is adding a little bit of crowd control. Now, we do still need some damage on these 2 outside lanes here. Let's just go with 1 flame burst right there. And then we're going to go with another flame burst right here. Now, what happens if a mob comes that's immune to fire damage? Well, of course, if they don't get within range of that explosive trap, they're not going to die. So if it's an archer that's immune to fire damage, it will sit here and shoot at your wall. It won't get in range of the explosive trap, and the flame burst will never hit it because it is immune to fire damage. So we're going to want to make an adjustment for that. And what I'm going to do there is go ahead and throw a Strength Drain Aura, which is going to strip that elemental immunity away. And I'm going to do that on both sides here. Now we've got tons of DU left. We've got one more lane that only has the fire damage in the traps, and that's down here below in the middle. So we're going to do the same thing down here and get another Strength Drain Aura. Now, we're going to use 1 Strength Drain Aura here to cover both of these sides of the lane. And I think that that will just work out fine. We still do have 24 DU left, and let's see. I kind of want to make it so these lanes I don't have to worry about too much. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go with a Strength Drain Aura, but I'm going to take it up 1 step further and throw down an Electric Aura as well. And that's going to help me out versus the flyers coming through here and the ground lane itself. And it should make it where that particular lane runs pretty smoothly. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing over at this side, as we've still got 14 left to deal with. So let's go with a Strength Drain Aura, and we're going to get an Electric Aura. Now we've got 4 left, so kind of decisions. What do we want to do? I do know that this lane right here can get pushed a little bit on this map, so what I'm going to do just to supplement this lane is I'm going to spend 3 DU and throw down an Ensnare Aura. Now what that's going to do is give me a little bit of crowd control here. It's not going to be a severe amount, but it will be something. And now, since I just have this DST here, I'm going to want to keep an eye out there as well, but just to be safe, I'm going to add in a little bit of protection, and that is an Apprentice Wall with that 1 straggling DU. And my hopes here is that any ogres that come out might throw it in, but additionally, the flyers that eventually will come down from the top here, I'm hoping they're going to go down and aggro to that wall as well. So let's see, I think for our 300 mana we have left over, we should come over and get maybe both these traps upgraded. I would have liked to have had another Flame Burst down here, but I've just spent too much. Now I could do one different route actually. Here we go, here'll be an interesting take. Let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of this DST. And that leaves 9 DU left. We can add in 3 magic missiles right here. Now that should just completely annihilate the flyers, but I am going to have to get some upgrades on them to get that increased range, because right now their range is going to be complete poo-poo. But we're going to leave that alone and see if we can't make it through this next wave here. Wave 3 coming out hot. And let's see what we get. I don't think we're going to get any mobs that are too terrifying quite yet in Wave 3. Yeah, those traps are definitely not chaining, which, you know, it's just all about the range. I don't really have any range yet, and those traps are just not chaining together, so I don't have to worry about the trap chain here at all. Yeah, looks like this trap is actually burning some charges pretty quick. I'm going to throw an upgrade on that just to be safe. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing over here, because I know this lane is going to get pushed just a touch as well. There we go. We got our upgrades in place. These archers are just having their way with me, so let's just back off and let them come into the flame burst range just a touch more. There we go. And then 19 mobs left. Where are they at? Looks like they are taking their sweet old time, getting a little lunch break in prior to coming on out. But they should be here shortly. There they come now. We've got flyers rolling in. And it looks like it's going to be flyers from right over here for this wave. Back on the back side there. Now, killing the flyers right as they come in there does mean you could potentially lose a little bit of mana, but I'm going to see what I can get right there. 18 mobs left. Looks like they are making the push over here now. I see my trap going off over there anyway. Couple more orcs to deal with here, and then we're GG's on that lane. What else do we have? We got mobs on both of those side lanes. Doesn't look like anything else is going to come out right here at the moment, so let's just go ahead and give a little assist over here just to make sure we burn through wave 3 without any problems. Now, alright, we know that we're going to have flyers continuing to get more and more and more. And one of the big reasons I use the magic missiles is for the upgrade value with the range. So I do want to make sure all of the magic missiles I've got on the map all get upgraded. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and hit that trap too, just to be safe. And then this trap, I think I'll just throw a repair on. Now I definitely want to drop 300 right here. If you look at their range is 6.6 meters, but if I give it one upgrade, it takes it all the way up to 8 meters just from one upgrade, so that's pretty nice. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit 2 more upgrades, and now we see the Tier 2 magic missile is at the 8 meters. A Tier 3 magic missile is up to 9.46 meters. So the range upgrades are definitely very, very nice on the magic missile defense. Now, one thing about the magic missile to be aware of is it is single target. So if there's a large pack, it's only going to hit one mob at a time. Something to be very, very careful of when using the magic missile tower. And let's see, what else do we have? We've got this flyer lane is opened up. And I'm assuming the last flyer lane is not going to open up until the last wave here. But there should be one more flyer lane coming in from up top there. But let's just let it fly. We should have, I think we're going to have an ogre this wave. Want to see how that goes. We may or may not have a little ogre action. See, the traps are doing pretty good so far. The kobolds that are coming in are definitely going to do a little damage to my walls, but it's not enough where I'm overly alarmed about it. We're getting it. We're, what, about halfway through the mobs now. And here comes our ogre. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get some damage in on this guy. Just start shooting him as soon as he comes around the corner there. Just get as much damage as we can. Now remember, the #1 rule about fighting ogres. Don't let your wall die, and you're eventually going to kill it. So your #1 priority should be wall repairs. Since the ogre is standing directly in a strength drain aura, that gives me a huge benefit. As you see, he's just not doing a ton of damage to my wall there. So he's actually burning that trap far worse than he's touching that wall. Get these traps repaired back up. We still have 34 mobs. And there was one of those flyers rolling in at the end. Now, how we doing here everywhere else? We've got another little pack coming this way. I'm going to go ahead and throw an upgrade on that trap as well. That takes it up to 16 charges. Looking a little nicer now. We are getting there. We are getting there. Get this Dark Elf Warrior burned down as quickly as we can. And then we've got another trap getting dangerously low over on this side. You might want to just throw an upgrade on that too while we're right here. There we go. Got quite a bit of mana saved up now, so we're looking good in regards to most of this stuff. I'm going to do an upgrade on that electric aura, but I'm only going to repair the strength drain. Let's get this strength drain repaired. Actually, let's just go ahead and upgrade this one. That one's a little bit fatter now. And what about over here? Let's see, we've got a bunch of mana, so let's just go ahead and upgrade this whole lane. And then strength drains here are hurting. We'll throw just upgrades on it. There is our final flyer lane. You see we got 4 mobs coming in there. So what I want to do on that flyer lane is throw one more round of upgrades on these towers. Let's see. We actually can only get, let's get one upgraded again. 300 left. Let's throw an upgrade there. And I believe we will probably end up getting both of the ogres down here. So I'm going to throw some upgrades right here as well. But let's get this 5th and final wave moving along here. 338 mobs. So a few more mobs coming out this time around. We're doing good, though. We're doing good. Little Dark Elf Warrior action. See if we can't just bring him over in front of our trap. Took a little damage there, but I think we will survive it. Let me hide from these archers and get fully healed up. Okay, that lane's doing pretty good. How are we looking everywhere else? The flyers are dying due to the magic missiles. Those flyers are dying. We've got the ogres down here now, and I kind of missed the opportunity on that for ogre coming out right at the beginning. So let's just go ahead and spam into this first one, and we'll just keep an eye on that wall. and make sure it stays good and healthy. The trap is getting low. It's below the halfway point now. Let's see. First ogre down. Second ogre. I think I'm going to go ahead and let's try to upgrade this trap. See if we can't get a little sneaky angle off there. There we go. Now, that trap should burn this last ogre without any problems. I do have to keep an eye on the other lanes, though, and realize that there's still 50 mobs coming, so... Alright, we got ogre out. Ogre is down and out. Here come the kobolds. We've got 30 mobs left. You saw we had a bunch of mages down here, and the mages like to stay back and summon, so... If you see any of those mages kicking it, definitely want to show them what's up. And I think we're good everywhere, with just 10 mobs left. Everything's looking pretty darn nice. We've got a bunch of kobolds coming, it looks like. And then we've got some more dark elves coming out as well. And it looks like... I think they're all going to just die. That top lane. Yep, and our kobolds are all dead. We made it to wave 20, to level 25, almost to 26. But we're going to have to go one more map before we can equip that level 27 gear. So I'll be looking forward to that for next time. But that is going to do it for now. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. And I will be back soon with some more Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.